I had the whole campaign packaged up again, so I thought I was just about done. And while playing through it, when I got to the Zen map, I had some issues with the AI. I thought it might just be one of those one-time glitches, but it turned out to be a trickier problem to solve. The trouble it was the tank was spawning at the finale stage, and it was just dying or killing itself somehow. It's okay if it happens once or twice, but not all the time. So I was trying to work out why it was doing this, and I think it might be has something to do with these bits that stick out of the Zen. What's happening is, I think, is that the AI is dropping off the edge here and was falling down. I'd already thought I'd fix this by adding a trigger teleport here, which just sends the AI back up to here. However, it still the tank itself still seemed to suicide, and there's an additional problem with the standard AI, the infected, common infected. They won't seem to get teleported, which is odd because I've got a very similar setup for the other finale in the core room, and in that instance they are teleported around correctly. But when they fall off the edge here, or when I cause them to drop off the edge, they just fall down through the teleport trigger onto the death trigger at the bottom. Because it would be no good just have them hanging out on nothingness. Underneath here, way down, is just a black surface, just the end of the box, which would be no good if they were just all dropping down and getting stuck there. So then I tried putting push fields on, and if you see me work on this map previously, you would have noticed them. What they do is they push any object in a certain direction. In this case, obviously, it's back on into these pointy spire things. I don't know what would you call these? Protrusions? I don't know why they're there. Just for the looks of it, I suppose. But these push fields, they don't seem to work on the infected when it's controlled by the AI at all. Because I tried going into the infected mode myself as a player client, and you do bounce off these and get pushed back onto the path quite harshly. But the AI just ignores it completely. So this solution that I've come up with is not actually a solution for when playing a single player campaign or with the bots. The survivor bots, they will drop down into the trigger and get teleported back perfectly fine. There is a problem with the height though. If the trigger's way down here, as you can see, there's like 2,000 units. If I leave the trigger down here, which is better for realism, you could say, as you'll see the whatever it is drop off the edge, and it won't suddenly disappear close to where you're standing. It'll be way down here. The problem with that is that it carries the momentum of the object. So if the player or the player bot drops off here, they come back up here and they hit the surface and they still die because they've dropped below terminal fall damage height. So I'm going to have to come up with another solution. Only to this bar, as you can see, I put the trigger push fields. I guess the next step to next thing to try will be solid walls of some kind. There is a special texture. If I just bring it up, that's tools wrong way. There is a special texture, or several special textures, that are only visible to the infected. So, yeah, the only infected players will see this when it's textured onto an object. And in addition to that, there is also a special entity. I've just got to find it here. Nope, not it. And what it does, only the infected can collide with it. It might be a trigger. You've probably seen it already, and I haven't. Is it trigger infected block? Nope. Wall toggle Visi cluster. And I could be here for a while trying to find it. I started now, so I'm going to find it. Let's try oh, there we go. Should have done that first time. Yeah, this special function, it means that only infected players or objects will actually collide with this zone. And hopefully when I put that on there, all the bots will actually collide in it and will be prevented from falling off the edge, but survivor bots and players won't, so you'll still be able to be dragged off the edge. You'll still be able to be dragged off the edge or die yourself. I was still quite happy with the way it's been playing. I didn't make too many other changes, just flattened this out here. Oh, and I had to change the internal hog volume slightly. As you were coming up to the edge of the inner cave, the color correction would change from inside to outside, and that does not correct. So these just cover all the inside walls. In addition, there is another trigger teleport inside, which is just in case the director decides to place tanks or other infected inside the central cave area. That's because the entrance is actually blocked and they wouldn't be able to get out. And again, the tank would suicide, and that would make for a worse game experience. In addition to that, I caved in and blocked off one of the I blocked off the two-way nature of the central rock here, because if you remember, I had the survivor bots running around, trying to run around in circles when there was actually very close to the exit. It turned out even when I did that, they still started to run in the opposite direction. However, they stopped much sooner, and they didn't end up running around virtually the whole lower half of the map here. So it's slightly better than before, or it's much better than before, and it doesn't make the game doesn't make the level too hard or too easy. So because I was concerned about players getting trapped in the corner, or cornered by the tank or other infected players. I doubt you'll need to go round this far anyway, because there are lots of pillars around which you can dodge around the tank or other infected, both human controlled and bots. There was also a crash bug of some kind just here. I think it was the way I had the clip zones placed. It actually covered quite a large area here, and for whatever reason, when I walked around here, the game engine just crashed. So I moved back the clip planes and also messed around with the displacement a bit, just moving the geometry up and down in case by some bizarre coincidence you was getting trapped between this and this, or this and the ladder. I also raised the ladder here just above ground. So I'm going to make those changes over the next week or so, changing all these to infected clip zones, and seeing how it plays again, or seeing how it looks, because it plays fine. It's just the look of it, and getting hopefully stopping the tank from committing suicide so often, as that's too much of the problem. I played all the other maps through. I had them all compiled and cube mapped, or I used build cube maps on them and did the final navigation tests on them, and they all appear to be playing fine and looking just fine. So it's just this problem with this map. Goodbye for now.